Dr. Martin Luther King talked about the three giant triplets: racism, poverty, and militarism that society face, and how these three are interconnected barriers to justice in the beloved community. He talked about racism as a deep-seated prejudice caused or major cause of inequality. And we know that there's structural inequality built within the system of America. Then he dealt with poverty, and he saw it as a systematic problem of economic exploitation that marginalized communities. And then he talked about, because it takes from the not take from the community, but the resources are not being shared. Yes, that will help and benefit the community. So therefore, it is required for the community itself to come together. And then we can distinguish between a colony and a community. Maybe there is a colony rather than a community. Then you deal with the militarism. The military can protect that of it being a colony rather than a community. But he was dealing with the war at that time in Vietnam, and how though it drains the resources of the community, while the military possibly could be extending its colony and to further keep the community as a colony, if I may use that. You think you're a community, but we may be in the society which we is living in a colony. Righteousness is a win-win situation. And I cited King in the tradition and the spirit of my ancestors. The bonds that divide the barriers. The bonds that divide and the barriers that deceive. That's the title. The bonds that divide and the barriers that deceive. A learning or a lesson in social healing and spiritual, moral discernment. The bonds that divide us, understanding the lost art of human connection. Human relationships are the living pulse of existence. The invisible lines that connect our lives, our struggles, and our stories. Yet, in today's world, especially within the American experience, those lines have become tangled. What once connected us through community and compassion now often divides us through competition and comparison. The question we must ask is simple but profound. What truly binds human beings together? Is it kindness, achievement, power, prestige, privilege, or status? Is it race, class, gender, politics, religion, or is it something deeper, something beyond these categories? Our shared humanity. The nature of human bonds. Human relations are the bond that many form. Human relations are bound, I should say, by many forms. And the quality of the bond determines the quality of the relationship. Let me repeat that. Human relations are bound by many forms. And the quality of that bond determines the quality of that relationship. He or she who meets together, who has the resources, could determine the status of that relationship. Number one, humanity. The purest bond that transcends all differences. Number one, I repeat, humanity is the purest bond that transcends all existence. Transcends all differences. Number two, kindness and virtue, the moral bridge that allows compassion and care to move freely between people. Three, culture and tradition, the ancestral threads that shape belonging and identity. Four, social constructs, the labels of race, class, gender, and politics, which often fracture unity. Five, power and prestige, conditional bonds formed through hierarchy or privilege. Six, academic and intellectual connection, the bond of shared knowledge and understanding. Seven, familiarity, the comfort of the known, which can nurture closeness, but yet breed contempt. Yes. In the American cultural landscape, the most consistent bond has become the individual experience. This is what I've come to conclude. Don't necessarily mean that it's so. People are connected not by community, but by personal narratives rooted in family, environment, and culture. Because I say that there's four things that shape us: environment, culture, environment, and individual experiences. I like for people to try to dispute this with me. But this path that I'm on is a sincere and committed path. The focus of self-expression often replaces collective empathy with self-preservation. Without a true bond of humanity, there is no real sense of community, only networks of need, transactions of tolerance, and pockets of temporary belonging. Once I'm done with you, it's over. I use you, you use me, it's over. To heal this disconnection, Common Humanity Mission Incorporated calls for restoration through our 5.5 channels: understanding, tolerance, temperance, confidence, and respect. Doing so to restore not only the morale, but the moral compass and connection or reconnection to humanity itself. Now, let's look at this here as we transition in rewarding bad behavior. The reflection of an unhealed society is a reflection of an unhealed person. The reflection of an unhealed society is a reflection of an unhealed person or unhealed individuals who find comfort and familiarity and bonding with that. When a society begins to reward bad behavior, to applaud what is harmful, excuse what is irresponsible, and entertain what is destructive, it reveals more than the moral crisis. It exposes emotional and social wound that has not yet been healed. Let's just tell it like it is, man. And rewarding bad behavior is not just about one who acts out. It's about the community that reacts wrong. When we endorse destructive, when we endorse the destructive, we are not empowering others. We are excusing ourselves from responsibility. It becomes easier to aid a bit and reveal when we're talking about this function of behavior and the comfort and the pain it mirrors within us and us all. This includes me. Aiding, abetting, and aiding and abetting. These three stages of social complicity. Aiding, emotionally and materially supporting misconduct or of sympathy or fear. Sympathy of, or the misconduct out of sympathy or fear. 2, abetting, allowing harmful patterns to continue because accountability feels uncomfortable. 3 is when we celebrate transgression and entertainment or freedom, confusing rebellion with liberation. Healing begins when we refuse to be a part of a contributor to what corrupts or collective conscience. Healing begins when we refuse to be a part or a contributor to what corrupts our collective conscience. It requires courage to comfort, where empathy turns into enabling, and to set boundaries without bitterness. The mark of a healed society is one that practices compassion, accountability, respecting others enough to respect growth. Accountability is the medicine of moral health. Without it, healing becomes impossible, and social wounds become generational scars. When we reward bad behavior, we validate the very pain we claim to want to end. When we refuse to engage in such reward, we honor the process of restoration. For only a healed humanity can cultivate a healthy community. A healed person can cultivate and bring about a healed community. We all need to work on our social wounds so that we can heal others whose pain may be more severe than ours. But yet, how can we heal the pain of others when our pain is more severe than theirs? I've just expressed the bonds that divide and the behaviors that deceive. A lesson in social healing and spiritual moral discernment by Reverend Wally Moore Kevin Patrick common humanity mission. The bonds that divide us, understanding the lost art of human connection.